Bonjour à tous, vidéo un peu spéciale car il s'agit d'un travail d'anglais que j'ai dû réaliser pour la fac. Oui, le confinement c'est génial. D'ailleurs ils m'ont même forcé à lire du Bridget Jones. Preuve à la pluie.
Yes, how does a woman manage to get to your age without being married? Wrote Brian Underby, married to Mavis, used to be president of the Rotary in Kettering.
Oui, c'était terrifiant. Mais rigolo. Bref, cette vidéo est entièrement en anglais, mais ne vous inquiétez pas car elle est sous-titrée entièrement en français et en anglais. Voilà. Ah, et demain, il y aura aussi une autre vidéo. Voilà, c'est toujours le même projet, en attente de quelque chose d'un tout petit peu plus gros. Voilà. Donc j'ai tout dit. Voilà, et bien, bon visionnage.
Hello, my name is Arthur and I will be your guide during this film. By the way, if you're listening to me, it's that you have chosen to become a knowledge warrior. And I can assure you one thing, humanity, as stupid, as insolent it could be, thanks you. However, you're not here to be thanked, but to understand how all of this happened. Well, I could tell you a lot of excuses, rise of extremism, economic crisis, global warming, or even the glorification of the end of the world. Yet, in fact, all of excuses have supported a motive even more extreme. A man's motive who has succeeded to jeopardize our world. We are, when I'm recording this video, in 2025, and 2 years ago, a man named Alan Smithy has declared war on our past. Broken, this kind of idea was pretty common at that time. Gurus, dictators, dishonest politicians, everyone attempted to win the favors of the populations to gain even more power by unusual and unrealizable promises. However, he was different. He was able to convince anybody, even the most skeptical, and in addition, contrary to the others and their sellout promises, his program has been successful. In order to make you understand better this phenomenon, I will show you an extract from his first broadcasted speech. One last thing, even if you know what happened, don't try to demonize his words. Now, this is part of history, and we have, as simple human beings, to understand it and learn its mistakes to not repeat them. Okay? Let's go. Hello my friends, I'm glad to see you. As you know, I'm here because I dream of change. Unfortunately, I have the impression that my dream, as yours by the way, have become impossible. Why? Because the future is doomed, of course. In fact, we all know that we're doomed. That's not a great news. Our society prefers to broadcast this fact and its details instead of motivate us to change our habits. Anyway, you don't have any choice, and if you thought that consumption rhymed with decision, you were pretty wrong. Our future is doomed, and we all have accepted it. We left our society, set our world on fire for profits, because, you know, business is business, and we might receive one day a bonus for good attitude. What if we had our say? What if we were able to restart everything? To erase all the mistakes humanity has done? Imagine what could mean the development of a unique human society. No more competition, no more differences, no more conflicts, and above all, no more hatred. We could do anything if we could free us from our overrun and corrupted society. If you had the chance to restart the society from the beginning, would you accept it? When the world discovered these ideas, reactions were mixed. Some called him madman, others utopian, yet everybody was pretty keen on seeing his ideas fulfilled. And quickly, Alan Smithy gathered several millions of partisans, he called the Dreamers. Those Dreamers used a lot of pacific protest before they began to organize some crackdowns. On April 31, 2024, a reporter known to frequently criticize Alan's political approach died after some Dreamers forced their way through this reporter's publishing company to spread their leader's ideas. This was just an accident, but this accident was going to cause the end of everything. On one hand, the end of a careless trust from the governments, seeing Alan Smithy's movement as an unstable and confused chaos. On the other hand, the end of the first part of Alan's plan. After having pointed out to his followers that the actual society would never understand them again, Alan Smithy encourages them to pursue their goal. 3 months later, on July 24, 2024, about 50 historical, economic and political places suffered bombings from the Dreamers, who quickly conquered by force and number the most powerful countries, and Alan Smithy became literally a god. During the following months, the great prophet Alan tried to convince the rest of the population and wiped out a lot of monuments. Yet, understanding that there would be still resistant ones to his new system, and knowing that he couldn't just kill all those people without creating doubt in his followers' mind, Alan decided to hunt us down and eradicate every marks of culture and past. Now the question is, what happened to the captured resistant ones? Well, we still don't know. At the time, the Dreamers talked about camps of redemption and rehabilitation to the new society. But nobody have never returned from being taken in those enormous black lorries. By the way, I remember my transfer. It was a rainy night, and the lorry, holding about 30 of my neighbors and me, had an accident. We quickly succeeded to escape our prison and get the guards' outfits and gears. After destroying the proof of our flight and the lorry thanks to the guards' grenades, we sank into the dark forest. In the darkest depths of those woods, far away from madness, we understood that we have to fight against human curses to remain free. We couldn't just let a man become a god. And it is in this state of mind that we came up with our actual 10 commandments.
First, for the knowledge and the culture I will fight. Second, oblivion and recidivism I will denounce. Third, destruction and corruption I will avoid. Fourth, conflicts I will understand and resolve. Fifth, my brotherhood I will defend. Sixth, our ideals I will remind. Seventh, my fellows I will protect. Eighth, illusions I won't follow. Ninth, considered my choices will be. Tenth, my role, whatever the cost, I will fulfill.
There is it. It's my turn. My role is fulfilled. I am glad to have shared my knowledge with you, and I hope in your fight against foolishness that you will remain honorable and patient. Make the brotherhood of knowledge warriors proud of you. And never forget what Nietzsche has said. If you can't be sons of the knowledge, be at least its warriors. Knowledge and honor, fellows.